So anyway,
You got the bullet out.
you got the bullet out. And then I got another 30-day leave, 10 days traveling time, which the last, I think, 3 months in the Marines I was on traveling. And I was, when just before, now that's a flow you, and it flowed me, it flowed them. The nurse come to me in Quantico Naval Hospital, and she said, everybody called last names, they didn't call you by your first name. I said, Barrow, who in the hell do you know over in Washington? I said, what are you talking about? She said, who do you know in the White House? I said, nobody except the President, Truman. She said, well, you bet you got to be in full dress greens in the morning. They're sending the car over here for you.
What?
I said, you're kidding. So I went and met President Truman, and he had the Purple Heart to give to me. But I think it was something about the before the bomb. I don't know whether it was before the bomb. He had to give permission to drop that bomb over Nagasaki. You remember the atomic bomb? But anyway, he said they come in and talked to him, and he had to leave, and he apologized for leaving. I got my duty calls, just like when you have to go for a sergeant, I got to go too. And I believe that was what it was, but I couldn't swear to it. I wish I'd have paid more attention to months and time and dates, but I never did. That's why I didn't get gray hair so fast, because I didn't pay no attention. All I was worried about living and being in the Marine. So then they sent me to a casual company, and still had to go back and forth to the hospital because it was right there in Quantico.
What is a casual company?
That's where you're standing by for assignments,
Okay.
more or less.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, while I was there, I was supposed to be going back and forth to the hospital, being checked on. And that's when the war was over, and they was pushing you out. They come down, you're gonna be discharged tomorrow, and they just had everything ready, and you was gone. And I didn't want to. I wanted to stay in. I could type better than any of them fellas and sign papers better than anybody in Quantico. I knew how to run a typewriter because I learned that in high school. ESDFGHJKL semicolon.
Wow.
I still remember them keys.
Oh, it never ceases to amaze me, this guy. Silly.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I knew how to type, and they didn't want to keep me on that. I said, there ain't none of them in there can out-type me.
That is awesome.
Oh, man.
God bless Miss Moore at Rivers High School. She taught me how. She kept me and pounded it in my head, though.
I bet she did.
I had to stay in after school, but that was on purpose because she was a pretty lady.
Oh, wow.
She was gorgeous, boy. And I just loved her to death. Miss Moore, I'll never forget it. But Miss Rice now, she wrote me letters in the Marines. And the principal, you know, you want to back up. Before I went in the Marines and I was going, I had worked at the shipyard. They let us out of high school. I was in Murray High School, that Murray Vocational High School. And they let us out early to go to work, and I was a bucker. A bucker carries a 45-pound dolly bar. And my daddy was the riveter, and I was the rivet bucker. I bucked the rivets. And while I was there, Mr. Weinhammer was the principal of Rivers High School, and he was a very wonderful friend of mine.
Mister, you said?
Mr. Weinhammer.
Okay.
In fact, I taught him how to fish off this bridge down there, how to catch spots. But anyway, he drove me around that damn, hated to see me go, and knew I was going where I wanted to go. And Godspeed, he says, I hope you make it back home. He says, because you were a wonderful student, but you were hard-headed. And I was hard-headed, because I could daydream. I was daydreaming about the Marine Corps and playing baseball. All day long. I didn't know what was going on except looking out the windows and thinking, boy, one of these days I'm going to be a ball player, and one of these days I'm going to be in the Marines.
Right.
I was crazy kid, but everybody liked me. Just like these two is taking a liking to me, and I don't know. They think I'm still a kid, I guess. But anyhow, if you check with the Charleston News and Courier, I think they ran a picture of me. And if you can get them to look that up, I think it was in 1945.
Okay.
Really?
I'd like to tell y'all about that,
Forgot
and
about
you especially.
I know, I can't believe you withheld that
If they
tidbit.
get that picture out, and I can get it in a
Copy of it?
copy of it in black and white, I think I was I'm holding up Jap flags
Okay.
in the hospital at 611 Navy Hospital in Guam, on Guam. And I'm pretty sure I was holding up flags because somebody wrote me in the Marine later on that they ran a picture of you and they had an article in that. You might could get something under that article.
I'll look. They have a whole library upstairs, so I'll go check.
Well, that's
Did you find
fantastic.
it? Were you?
And
Yeah,
if you do,
I'll,
Yeah.
if
print
you
it
do,
out
would
for
you get a copy of it?
I sure will.
That'd be great.
They might even have the original photo.
I'd like to have that picture and put it right up here
Yeah.
The Wall of Fame.
on the left-hand side.
That'd look nice.
Hey, there's a big significant thing now.
I just, I thought about that yesterday. I said, I remember them running the picture of me, taking it. I don't know what in the world I said. I know I was worried about my buddies, and I wanted to. I wanted to go back. You find out. It's in. I think that's what it is. They said was under the picture.
Okay.
Go
A
ahead.
huge part of the story, more contemporary, about Strom Thurmond and guys like that.
Oh, Strom Thurmond,
And
Yeah.
look at Mandel Rivers.
Mandel Rivers, and Strom Thurmond were real close.
How did it happen? Tell Sully.
Whenever you can put this in there, whenever Mandel Rivers
Now tell her who he was.
came to Charleston,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
You know who he was?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
and they'd want to send a staff car to pick him up, he said, "Send Barron over here to get me."
Because you were working where at that time?
I was in the warehouse at the air base.
Didn't Mandel get you that job?
And incidentally, honey, I put 35 years in the working at the Air Force Base.
Well, back up so you can tell her how Mandel got you. You knowing Mandel, he called them at the base and said you need to hire this guy because of his talent.
Well, I don't want to put that. I don't want that.
Well, no, but just your experience
No,
from the
but
time you
can't.
got out.
Wouldn't want more people to read that. That's not right.
Tell her anyway.
It's too late. It's on video.
What, honey?
I'm just kidding.
No, I mean,
And tell her where you worked
seriously,
after
why
you
want-
ran the airport. You did tell her all the things you did after the Marines, and then how you got to deal with these guys more.
You want some more? You want some more
I gotta
history?
hear the rest of it.
When I came out of the Marines.
They kicked you out.
No, you don't even know this. I went on the police force,
For
and I got
Charleston.
100 and some stitches. Almost lost this eye, inside and outside of my mouth. The glass was still in there when the surgeon came to the hospital, Europa Hospital.
what happened?
I had a sailor under arrest. It was in the fall of the good fall of the year, and he had a pea coat on. You know what a pea coat is. And he had a beer glass in it. And when I had him under arrest and I was putting him in the cruiser, I'd already had two of his buddies in the cruiser, and I was getting ready to put him in, and he slammed that beer glass right in my jaw right here, and it shattered, and I almost killed him.
Were you Charleston police?
Huh?
Charleston police, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I had him down on the pavement on King Street, and I put the 38 in his mouth, and I was going to blow his head off. And Peanut Wolf, write that down, Peanut Wolf slapped my hand with a slapjack and knocked the pistol. He was my buddy. He was a police too. He knocked the pistol out of my hand.
So that you wouldn't do it?
So, here comes the lieutenant. I'm trying to think of his last name. The wrong way down the one-way street. because they'd already heard, the people in that bar had already called the police station, because most of the girls in them bars knew me because I treated them like a human being, where most of the police treated them like they were slop. You know, some police don't like girls that worked in bars. And that, during them days, Charleston was wide open. I mean, anything. It was tough.
Oh, the blotter stories.
It was tough.
Why were you arresting those sailors? What did the sailors do?
Huh?
What did the sailors do?
Anyway, I locked him up. The show patrol. I knew the commander over the show patrol, and I can't think of his name right now. Anyway, he came down. He says, "I know you had to do what you had to do, Barrow. I warned him. I said, no, you ain't gonna get him. He's mine, and I'm gonna take him to jail." He says, so I put him in, had him locked up. They booked him down.
Meanwhile, are you bleeding and you've got glass in your head?
I was ferociously bleeding. Till after they got him booked and everything, then they took me to the hospital and got me the best surgeon in Charleston. I can't even think of his name right now. That's how much I paid attention to things. I never paid attention. But anyway, he dug 100 and some pieces of glass out of my face.
Jeez.
And inside, I had him propped up, digging in there with them little lights they got on the end of, like a dentist thing. And they look up in there to see if anything's shining. But anyhow, about 6 months later, we had court. And when the judge called me up, and I told him what happened, explained to everybody what happened. His attorney was a lieutenant commander in the Navy, and he didn't like some of the things I said about I should have killed the son of a bitch. And that's exactly what I told him. I should have. I said, he ain't got no business being in this court. And then when they heard it all, and the judge called him before him to pass Lennon, he said, you ain't got no business in my court. He said, Mr. Barrow should have shot you.
You're kidding.
I'll swear he did. I don't. And when they gave him 8 years in state penitentiary, 8 years, and discharged from the United States Navy, and citizenship taken away from him. He was a Filipino. I didn't tell you all about it.
Why were you arresting him in the first place? What did they do?
They were from bar to bar, drinking beer, and taking beer glasses and breaking them and scratching the bars, all cutting, raking them across the bar.
Being vandalists. And
more or less vandalism.
So you put a stop to that.
Yeah.
So you were a police
officer?
officer.
Also while I was on the police force.
Who was the chief back then?
You, huh?
Who was the chief?
Kelly.
How are you possibly going to contest
Kelly
this
was the
story?
chief. Anyway, I had just got off foot patrol. I made 10 to 15 good arrests on foot patrol because I paid it. I knew how to do things. As an ex-Marine, you learn a lot. I could hear noise and I knew, that noise ain't supposed to be back there. And I've caught them stealing tires. I've caught them breaking in automobiles, and I was promoted to a detective.
That's great.
And about 2 weeks while I was on detective, I happened to notice a silhouette on top of a building. And I said, damn, I know that was somebody. It had to be somebody. So I pulled my cruiser around, I think it was Silver's 5 and 10 cent store. They had a canopy over the back door, like. And I pulled my cruiser up there, and like a damn old Marine, climbed on top of the cruiser, climbed on top of it, climbed up there and went up on top. And when I put that flashlight, there was about 5 of them up there, and they started running across the building, and I started chasing them. And I didn't have a radio. The radio was the only thing I had was in the cruiser. So I hollered down to somebody on King Street that was and I said, call the police station for me, please, and tell them I need some help. And tell them I'm on top of Silver's, where I think it was Silver's I was on top of. And the bank wasn't too far from there. And they were trying to get that bank. And I chased one of them clear across, and he fell down between the buildings. And he was in, there was a pipe there. And I got a hold of the pipe. I figured it might bend. I was going to go down there because I wanted to see who he was. They'd already they had the fire department out and all with the ladders.
Oh, wow.
It was regular gang bang that night. I mean, it was fun. I was having fun anyway. But they couldn't prove anything except that they were just vandalism. But they were trying to get in that bank. That's what their intentions were. They were going to get in that bank.
How long were you on the police force?
Not long. Then I went on the fire department. And I wasn't on that long. That's when...
You talking a couple years?
Huh?
Couple years, maybe?
Something like that.
Why'd you make the switch?
And then when on account of my back. I mean, I couldn't carry my damn handcuffs on account of the bullet. Mm-hmm. And what I'm having right now, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I had to get off the fire department, and that's when Uncle Mendy told me, he said, why don't you put your application in at the Air Force Base? Now, I ain't going to tell you anymore except I put an application in.
I get your drift.
And I got called right away. And Tom Lauder, put his name in there too.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Lauder. You know Tom Lauder?
Mm-hmm.
You know Tom?
Yeah.
I worked for him for 35 years.
You're kidding me.
No, I am not. Do you know his kids?
I sure do.
Brian?
Yep.
You're kidding. Did you know the girl?
No, just the two sons I knew.
Huh?
Just the two sons.
God bless you.
Small world.
They helped me. The two boys helped me one night. We was playing softball, and my back went out, and going to first base, and I couldn't get up, and they helped me get up to the dugout and put me on the seat.
They're good people.
I see Brian works for Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, he's.
I see him every day. You know, when I could go, I can't go no more. I mean, I get what do you call it? I get shopping around just a little bit, go down one aisle, and I get nauseated. That's it. I get nauseated. I got to get out. And he always holler at me, if you get to feeling bad, holler for me.
Yeah.
Brian.
He's so sweet.
Because he thought the world of me. Well, all of them did. One of them was a police at one time.
Uh-huh.
Here in Mount Pleasant. Did you know Dolly?
No.
Chief Dolly?
No.
Chief Dolly used to sit right where you sit. When in between, wanted to get out of the station, he'd come over here and sit right here. Barry, I'm coming in. I said, the door's open, which is always open. And he come in and he said, make me some leaders. And I made him leaders for fishing because I was one of the best fishermen in Mount Pleasant. Ask Tom Lauder that, he'll tell you. Ask Billy Lauder. Ask anybody who works in his office.
I will.
Have you met Valerie?
No. Is that
his new wife?
No, I have not.
Ah, she's a doll, a living doll.
That's sweet.
She was a cashier at the commissary, and I worked there in the commissary too. Tom was the boss over all the, Tom was the boss over all the commissaries on the East Coast.
Oh.
If something went wrong, Tom was gone. He went to find out what went wrong.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, that man was valuable for the United States service. Make sure that groceries were paid for, demanded when you go through military, like on the air base. I can go in there now because I'm a disabled veteran now.
Mm-hmm.
You get milk, price, and the milk's going up. You can get bread. Everything in there is cheap.
Yeah.
Because
It should be for
they
the
make
military.
sure that the companies that's bringing it, if you don't give me Tom was like that. If you don't give them a good price, don't bring it.
So how many years did you work at the base?
35 years.
35.
I
And
retired the day on my birthday, 65 years old.
did you get married, have kids, any of
I
that?
don't want to go through all that though.
Okay.
Please.
How long have you been?
You'll be here forever.
No, no, I don't mind saying I got children, but I don't want to go into the marriage part.
No, but you have what? How many kids? 5, 6,
8.
8,
Just-
8 kids.
I mean,
and a lot of adopted
6,
kids.
yes, 6 and 6, and two that I raised.
6 blood, 2 he raised, and then
So
plenty like now who are just adopt them as part of their family, like the rest, like us.
David Ross. I raised David, and I raised his sister, Charlene Ross.
So I'll
Charlene,
just say had 8 children. Plus
yeah,
a
Charlene.
handful of adopted ones along the way. Okay. So when did you move into this house?
I had this house built.
What year was that?
I can't remember. I can't remember if it was 7. I can't remember.
What?
Anyway, you had to have property in Mount Pleasant to play softball. So I'll tell you some more people you know.
So you picked the one right across from the ball field?
No, they brought me and showed me this. Barry, this is right across from the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Tom and Larry Richter. You know Larry?
Yes, sir.
You know Larry real well?
Mm-hmm.
You know his wife?
No, I don't know her.
Oh, she's a doll too.
He
She's
grew
a
up with my
sweetie.
daddy.
Anyway, they brought me in and we can get this for you. I said, well, get it.
Just plot of land. You mean the land?
The lot. And then they got the contractors and built the house, and I just took over the payment. Just to play ball.
That's wonderful.
The big thing buried now is with Mendel Rivers and
It's a baseball
and
ground in Mount Pleasant.
Huh?
Mendel Rivers, and it led to him calling you when he came in town with the rest of the guys to go fishing.
No, he suggested
Okay.
that
You were running the airport at that time, right?
yeah, I was still working at the air base.
Mhm.
The Pentagon, there was a bunch of fellows from the Pentagon gonna come down, and they wanted me to take them fishing. So me and Tom Lauder fixed up a place with Black's Landing, Black's Fish Camp,
Mm-hmm.
that I knew them real well too. And we took them fishing, and we had fish fries and
Who'd you take?
and they had
Who'd you take fishing? Who came down?
all of them. I don't know their names. There was just a whole. It was about 8 or 10 of them.
Wow.
Didn't you take Strom Thurmond one time? Didn't you take Thurmond one time too?
No, I never took. I took fish to his sister. She had the florist over in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck's the name of it? I can't even think of the name of it. But and his sister was over there, and I took her fish all the time. She loved crappie. Them kind up there. She loved crappie fish.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd always clean them before I took them to her too.
So
I
talk
don't
to
know what else you can do. You have to ask questions now.
Okay. What was your most memorable moment as a Marine?
My service number 544-782.
No, your most memorable moment.
Hmm?
Moment in time as a Marine. What's your most memorable thing?
What is my most memorial time?
Memorable. What was the most significant event in your career as a Marine?
The only thing I could tell you that was coming home. That's about.
What's your favorite memory about being a Marine? What's your favorite thing about being a Marine?
That was on Okinawa. I loved fighting. I loved gun shooting. I loved patrols. I just loved the Marine Corps. I mean, that was my fancy. That was what all I was probably put here for.
To kill
I
people?
probably would have got killed if I'd have stayed in. I'd have probably went back to Vietnam.
Yeah.
Probably. I would have still been young enough then to do it again. But I would have loved it. I really would have. And dying ain't nothing. I mean, the Marine teach you that.
Well, and you like the values of the Corps, what the Marine Corps stands for, and their values,
Yeah.
and their tradition, and their honor code, right?
And one of my most memorial times of the Marines is just recently when they invited me to that ball. And these two helped get me there. And then when they were here the other day, and that almost had a heart attack.
Well,
So tell me about
I'd like
the
to show
other day.
Sally that. We have it. We can.
I almost had a heart
He
attack.
hasn't seen it.
I did
wow.
not know they were
I
coming.
have pictures that I can email you with their names, the Marines that were here.
I did not.
Sorry, I couldn't be here.
I did
You know
not
what?
know
It's
they
probably better
were.
because he was so overwhelmed
You know,
Right.
that it's just as well.
Am I gonna cry if I watch this?
Probably.
my favorite fisherman was a lady, Sandy.
Uh-huh.
She come by and I didn't know she was supposed to be working. I said, "What are you doing off work?"
Okay.
I said, "You going to a doctor or something?"
I'll put
She
it
said,
on.
"No, I just thought I'd come in and visit while I was here in Mount Pleasant." She knew about this too and didn't tell me. Nobody told me.
Great. So, well, this is kind of the finale of the story up to this point. So you can
And that's
just
my
watch
baby
this.
right there. That's her. I just love that gal. I mean, I love her because
Okay. This is when she first.
that's her right there.
Hey, Barry.
Hi. Hi, Mr. Barry.
That's Sergeant Miller. She's the one who I contacted, and she's the one who arranged
Sir.
getting him.
That's her.
Getting him
She
there.
is so sweet.
Good, sir.
I love it.
Thank you, sir. I was in the area, wanted to stop by and check on you.
Great.
Check on your New Year's. How's everything going?
I was just gonna snap one.
She's a precious person.
How you doing, Sandy? I'm Sergeant Miller.
I've heard about you.
Okay.
Now these were moments, that was Sandy. These were moments that I've enjoyed more than ever. This is the second one. The first one was at that ball.
Hi.
I know, right? Sorry. That's nice. Y'all got the whole setup. Got the pictures up here.
Yep.
I wanted her to see that knife. I'm gonna let you look at that knife in a minute. Every Marine carried a K-bar
Sit, not squat on.
in combat.
Uh-huh.
Now turn it over.
That's beautiful.
See, it's got the dates when I was wounded engraved in it.
That's very nice.
Them the kind we carried on Okinawa.
Okay.
Everybody had a K-bar.
Yes, sir. That's real nice.
Ain't she pretty?
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, they overwhelm me.
It was a good time, sir.
Yes,
Real
it was a
good
good time.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for
Boy, you
this.
look so good in that. You-
Oh, that's the first thing you showed
Yeah,
me.
that was my most precious part I've gotten. I've got
That's his kind of.
plenty from their two children.
Yes, sir.
Just,
I had all the Marines in the shop
You know,
signing
not
it.
store-bought. They're handmade
He was trying to
from
explain
her
to
two
me how
children.
his
But
son-
this one
I
was
got-
one of the
that's
greatest
first
cards
thing I
I've ever
thought.
received.
Yes, ma'am.
That's Sandy. That's my fishing partner.
It's very Corvette.
If it wasn't for her, I'd have never caught no fish.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Can you want to walk out with me, sir?
Barry's like, what? Huh?
Hand me my sticks.
There you go, sir. Yeah, you can get out of that. So, yeah.
That's nice.
I'll play the one when he comes outside. Let's see here.
So I wasn't planning to tell Barry they were coming. At the ball, in conversation, Captain Mokris is the one that looks like Tom Cruise.
Uh-huh.
The conversation I kind of just told them that Barry had his medals had been stolen, lost.
Now,
They're
look
gone.
at that. Isn't that beautiful?
And they contacted me later because they were very upset by that and wanted to replace them. So Captain Mokris is the one who